What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse, episode 035. Today, Saturday, August 1st. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as usual with Rick.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm back.
He's back, everyone. So don't fucking panic. Dude, shit happened, man.
Yes. Oh God, so much. So much has happened. Most of it, so much too much to have an opinion on, if I'm being honest. But you know, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna talk about some of the big Xbox stuff. Oh my God, so much stuff was announced at the Xbox Game Showcase.
Yeah, and then so much shit after they had to clean up a lot of shit after that shit happened to clarify a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But I've been playing video games, man. I don't know about you, but I play a lot of video games.
I've been playing quite a bit. Excuse me. I've been playing quite a few games too. Nothing new, but so years ago, I picked up Nier Automata and I loved it. But halfway through the game, I discovered a game-breaking bug and I couldn't progress forward. So I told myself I'm going to give myself a couple years till the game's out of my mind and then go back and try to finish it. It has been a couple years and I'm going back to finish it now. But that's all I've been playing.
Did you get past where you were before?
No, I am starting fresh. So here's what happened. Have you played Nier Automata?
Yeah, I think that game is just short of a masterpiece, but yes.
Okay, so as you know, the game has multiple stories and scenarios you can replay to get different endings. I had gotten to the third scenario. So you have A where you play as you have scenario A where you play as 2B, scenario B where you play as 9S, and scenario 3 where shit gets really, that's when the game really picks up.
Yeah.
At the very last mission of that scenario, which, if you remember, after you beat that scenario, it gives you the option to go back and replay older scenarios. The game had encountered a glitch. There was a boss that was supposed to spawn that never spawned, so I couldn't finish the game. And I've tried everything. I tried resetting it. I've tried reloading the world map. I've tried everything I could that I think would let me do it, but nothing would let me restart that area. And because that's right before you get to replay scenarios, I couldn't even reset it to an earlier save point. So I just couldn't progress. So I gave it a couple years. I'm replaying it now. The game's almost fresh in my mind because it's been so long since I played it. And I'm hoping I don't encounter anything else like that. I can actually play the game and beat it because I do love it. I agree with you. It's just shy of a masterpiece of video games.
Yeah, weird because I never. You're playing on PC?
PS4. That's the worst part. The one that's supposed to run well.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it fucking sucked. It fucking sucked, and I was devastated because I had gotten all up to that point in the game. I had done all the side quests. I have gotten all upgrades for my weapons. So I put some fucking time into this game, dude. And just to lose it all, I was devastated. So I was I'm going to give it a couple years, and I'll play it again. And I'm replaying it right now.
Yeah, that's one of those games that so we just did the Last of Us spoiler cast, and we were talking about gameplay tied to story, and I think that's one of the games that does it pretty well.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And the game's such a meta game. the game knows it's a game, and it kind of uses that to its advantage to help tell its story.
Yeah.
The way I can describe it, I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like I can't like talk about it, but the best way to describe it is if Hideo Kojima made like an RPG. I think this is like the RPG he would make.
Yeah.
It's just so out there and meta, and the game
Well,
knows.
he did work on Boktai, if you remember that game. Um,
Oh, the Game Boy Advance, yeah,
yeah, where you use the sunlight. It like had a solar panel on it where you use the sunlight and you get energy.
yeah. I did hear about that one. I heard it didn't do that well though.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
But yeah, Nier Automata is like a really cool game, and I mean, everyone listening, go pick it up. It's only like what $20 now. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely the combat's good, the story's really good. The game's super slow in the beginning as it tries to like drip feed you, like how but the game gets so weird later. It's definitely worth it. Just a bit I played, I was like, it's enough for me that after experiencing this game breaking bug that made me lose like 20, 30 hours of progress to make me restart it. Like that's how much I like this game.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, the game still hasn't been spoiled for me after all these years, so I can't wait to actually experience it like God intended.
It's hard to spoil that game because a lot of shit happens and you're probably not gonna remember it even if it was spoiled.
Yeah, a lot of shit happens. It's fucking weird, but I love it. I'm replaying it now. Can't wait to play it. We could talk about it a little bit. We probably won't have a whole podcast on it, but it would be nice to talk about. I know you've been playing the hiccups. You've been playing that new survival game from Obsidian, right? The one where you're in your backyard and you're like shrunk down.
Yes. Grounded. Dude, this
Yes.
game is so like if you don't know about what games I like, just know that I fucking hate survival games. Like every single one I've played. Like I kind of like, and I've tried a lot of them, dude. I played The Forest. I've played Subnautica is probably the second best. Like if I had to pick one that I liked the most before this, it'd be Subnautica. But like that's not saying much because I don't like I'm not in love with that game. So Grounded is like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids, like we're in the backyard, miniaturized survival game. Um, Made by 12 people at Obsidian, which I didn't know before I started looking into it. Yeah, and they kind of just came out of nowhere with this. I think at the last Xbox E3, they showed this and they said Obsidian, and I was like, what the fuck? Obsidian made a survival game where you're a bunch of kids in the backyard shrunken down. But it's really fucking good. Like, and it's surprisingly very stable for being in early access. Uh, I played it like for 9 hours straight the other day. Um, did a edited up a quick video together. So if you're subscribed to YouTube, I think it's youtube.com/c/Gameoverse. Uh, you can check it out there. But
And I did watch it, and it looked really impressive. And you're right; it's really polished for an early access game. Excuse me. And I was mentioning that it's a shame that such an original like fun survival game came out in a time when nobody gives a fuck about survival games anymore.
yeah, but the thing is, it's doing extremely well though.
Yeah.
It's top selling on Steam, even though the game is free to play on Game Pass for both console and PC. For some reason, people were just choosing to buy it, and it's doing really well. So that's a surprise. And yeah, it just seems like people are really excited for this somehow. But like I would most closely compare it to The Forest, except this game is good. So
Well, that's good. I'm glad it's doing well. I like to see games that are like really creative and interesting do well, and Grounded is definitely a very creative and interesting game idea. So
Yeah,
it's cool to see it doing well. It's only $30. I might pick it up then
yeah, but it's
and
on,
play it
it's on
with you.
Game Pass. It's on Game Pass though.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. I'm gonna have to like buy it. I still haven't gotten Game Pass yet, so I can just like what was like $1 for like your first month or something.
Yeah.
So I might look into that. Excuse me. Other than that, anything else you've been playing? Anything you wanna shout out?
I played Carrion.
Oh, how is that?
That game is very interesting
Yeah.
because you don't know what it is before you like really get into it.
Hmm.
Like you see what it looks like and you're like, okay, I guess this is like this type of game, but you really don't know until you're into it. So it's a Metroid game, but they label it as like a reverse horror because you play you play the enemy. So you're just this big fucking creature, like slime creature thing with tentacles and shit, and you just run around this facility in like a Metroid style, and you're just grabbing motherfuckers and eating them, and then like as you progress, there's like so if you ever played Metro, I'm gonna compare this to Metroid a lot because it's very Metroid, while at the same time not playing anything like a Metroid game. But
Hmm.
uh like there's upgrades you can get. So you'll tear down these like canisters where like they're growing more of your kind, and you like merge with them. And so one of the really cool mechanics this game has is you have different tiers of monster. So like at tier 1 you have certain abilities that when you like go up in tier, like you increase in size, but also your abilities change. So your tier 1 abilities, you're locked out of your tier 1 abilities and you get these tier 2 abilities. But at tier 2 you're stronger, like you can take a lot more hits, you're bigger and stronger, but you get locked out of your old abilities. So what the game does is it allows you to deposit some of your mass, and you can downgrade your tier into tier 1. It's hard to explain this, but like it's such an interesting mechanic that um it's like it's really cool. uh so yeah, you can like so it becomes this thing where okay, I got to downgrade my tier so I can get this ability. I think like a tier 1 you have the ability where you can like throw a tentacle in like a certain direction, and like it's like a web. You can like throw a web, and like you can like activate levers that are far away, or you can throw a web and like trap people in a web so you can like come around and get them. Because there's a lot of enemies that they get stronger. Like the enemies they just have guns. Like some guys just have guns. Some guys you encounter have like flamethrowers, and they start having shields. So you kind of have to like slither around the facility in such a way where you can kind of grab them, and it's deceptively difficult because you can't take a lot of shots. I think you only take like 4 hits before you die. That's in tier 1. Once you get to tier 2, you get like a um tier 1 has like a stealth ability, so you can go invisible for a short period of time. And then when you level up, you're locked out of that ability, but you get different abilities that
Okay. So depending on your mass, you can have different abilities that aren't really more or less better, but fit different situations.
yeah. So at tier 2, you get like it's like a um you can like there's like a dash you can do, and it breaks you can break stuff, so you can like dash into enemies and just like knock them over, or dash into like parts of the environment and destroy them. uh Really, it's like really cool stuff. I'm not sure how long the game is. I think I played only about an hour. um but yeah, it seemed like, and there's
Oh,
this whole
sorry.
like there's like this Men in Black kind of side. Like every once in a while, there's just like this side thing where you control like Men in Black, and you're just walking and like investigating, like, oh, this happened, and Real weird. The story is weird, but there's no dialogue or anything. It just kind of just stuff just happens.
See, that game's been on my list for a while, man. I remember seeing when it was just like a tech demo, and all it was like this red mass with no detail, like eating up stick figures. And from the beginning, I was like, dude, I'm into this. Like, I want to see how this develops. And I like seeing where it's come so far. I actually almost like signed up for Game Pass so I can try it, which I still might because I want to play this game for a while. And it sounds like you're getting a kick out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, especially if you like Metroid style games. I'm trying not to use the term Metroidvania because it's not a real term. Uh,
I mean, for lack of a better term, it's the best we got so far.
yeah, but like when you, it's strictly Metroid though. It's more Metroid than it is Vania. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Um, but like there's no like jumping or anything. You're just like kind of just using your tentacles to like crawl around, and there's like no like gravity, I guess. Like you're not jumping. You're like crawling up. So like
Yeah,
if you're
you're crawling
not,
along walls and ceilings and
yeah. But like if you're not using your like if you're not managing your weight, you kind of like fall. So like I mean there is gravity, but you're not like jumping. Um, yeah, it's a real interesting game. Um,
I'm excited. I'll probably like with all the stuff on Game Pass, man, I'll probably just bite the bullet and get a Game Pass account so I can finally play like, Carrion, I can play Grounded.
yeah,
Um God, what else? Everything else is on Game Pass. I think the new Streets of Rage is on Game Pass now, right?
yeah, that's on
So,
there. You can play all the Halo games and Gears of War.
yeah, I might have to look into that. Um with that being said, speaking of Xbox, they had a huge showcase and announced so much stuff, dude. The biggest one I think most people were excited about were Halo Infinite, which I got to catch a glimpse of. Graphically speaking, I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed with the game graphically. Um, it's kind of funny to me. I think like Halo 4 like looked better than Halo Infinite does, and Halo Infinite's running on newer hardware. Like I don't know. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, and actually, so 343 came out and was like, so you're not the only one. Is what I'm about to say here, because most motherfuckers came out and were like, dude, this looks like shit. Fucking, what the fuck is this? Look at it popping. These textures are flat. These shadows are
Yeah,
flat. Um, and like they're not wrong. Actually, there was like a good like video like this guy did where he just like, I mean, there's stuff in this trailer that you didn't even notice how bad it was until this guy points it out, and you're like, oh my gosh, man, this is bad. Like not like technically bad, not like visually or um
but like underwhelming. I mean, compared to literally, like I said, Halo 4. Like looking at Halo 4, I think that looks better. I think Halo 5 looks better.
yeah,
So
and
it's weird
so
to me that this like looks the way it does.
so like when this started, so I live streamed this live when it happened, and I was talking over it, and as soon as Master Chief comes out with the rifle, I'm like, oh, this looks like Halo, and yeah, but it looks like Halo, like, but that's so 343 came out, and they they were like, yeah, no, we our goal with this was to try to make go back to basics. We want to go back to what people remember Halo being, especially after Halo 5, because Halo 5 was such a shift
Yeah.
in like the Halo style. So they were like, no, we're going back to our roots. And I guess that's why it looks the way it does is pretty much what you're saying.
Okay. So it's
Um
taking like environmental design and like graphical styling from like Halo 1,
yeah. So I've
which I
got
could
the
definitely see. the big open areas, the fact that you're on Halo and it looks like if someone had told me this is like a Halo 1 mod, I would have believed it, and not like in a
Yeah.
bad way.
So like I've got the 343 put out this whole response about the graphics, and they said with Halo Infinite, we're returning to a more classic art style, which was a key message going back to the very first reveal. This translates to a more vibrant palette, cleaner models, and objects with less noise, though it doesn't mean less detail. While we appreciate this may not be everyone's personal preference, we stand by this decision and are happy to see it resonating with so many fans around the world.
Which, like, respect to them to like come out and make a statement. And the game still like looks like fun. Like it looks like Halo to me. Like, I get Halo vibes from watching this. Even with that grappling hook, it still feels like Halo to me, just from what I'm seeing. The pop in though, like that shouldn't be happening. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Looking out and seeing like literal mountains like popping up, like, dude, come on. Like that's a technical issue. That
Yeah,
shouldn't
and
be happening.
they said we do have work to do to address some of these areas and raise the level of fidelity and overall presentation for the final game. The build used to run the campaign demo was work in progress from several weeks ago, with a variety of graphical elements and game systems still being finished and polished. So like they know that they know is pretty much what they're saying. They know, and they're saying they're going to fix it. My question is, why would you use an old build like that? I mean, especially
Yeah.
when
I
you
mean,
know
this is
that.
the first impression of the game, man.
Well, especially it's the game. Like it's the game you're going to showcase. It's the showcase game for Xbox. Like you got to show it in the best way possible. So if you know that it's not up to par, you should not show it. Or I guess show it, but at least be like, hey, this is work in progress. We know, like, you should be upfront that it's that instead of having people pick it apart and then coming out and being like, no, we know.
Yeah. Like be forthright with it. Say, hey, it's a work in progress. You're gonna see some shit. Just be patient. We're still working on it. Like I think I would have understood it more if they'd opened up with that. But they didn't. They didn't say anything until they got called out, which seems
Yeah.
less genuine to me. I mean, it still looks like fun. It looks like classic Halo gameplay loops, and I'm fine with that. The grappling hook's a really cool addition. I really like that. I like that he like grappling hooked like a fucking power cell to his arm and then threw it at somebody. Like, that's really cool to see that. I can't wait till it comes out. I like Halo, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've liked Halo since I was like 13. It's one of my favorite game franchises. I don't play it that much anymore, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to pick it up, especially since it is coming out on Xbox Series X and PC.
My problem is that I just don't know if Halo resonates as much these days, especially when you're going back to basics like they say they are. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if back to basics is going to work in 2020 for
Yeah,
Halo. Like shooters in general have changed so much. Like the entire landscape has shifted to this entirely different thing. I mean, if you look at what Bungie's doing with Destiny, like shit done changed. So I don't know if this just being Halo, I don't know if that works anymore. Like, and people were saying like, oh, they're gonna announce. I hope they announce like a new Perfect Dark or like shit like that. I'm like, a Perfect Dark would not work. They cannot just make a Perfect Dark and like
and
people be happy with
successful.
that. Like, it just doesn't. It wouldn't work. Like
I
that
hear what
game.
you're saying.
It was a time and place for that kind of game. Like these days, if they would make a Perfect Dark, they could not call it Perfect Dark because it would have to be a completely different type of game. Uh,
I
so
hear what you mean, and I was excited. I personally was excited to hear them say that they're going back to basics with Halo, but and a huge but here. You're right. Shooters themselves have evolved so much that it's going to feel like a step back to modern shooter fans. to play this. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will do really well, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, with games like Doom coming out and doing really well, which definitely have a more old school design, it's probably not totally outside the realm of possibility. But
But even Doom though, even Doom like took what first person shooters were and they made smart changes to the entire thing that made it work. Like
yeah,
the
they,
whole
they did a
like
better job like unifying old and new design.
yeah, like you don't regenerate health, so they added like more meaningful mechanics. Like in
Mhm.
those old games, you were like running through the map and picking up health, but in the new ones, you know you got to kill enemies in certain ways, and you get your health back. You kill them in this way, you get ammo back, and it makes you more engaged with the way you're killing enemies in the combat. It makes you more engaged in the combat. Like it makes you get up in that ass so that like it keeps you in combat, like in a way that like hiding behind a thing, like in Call of Duty, you regenerate health, so that forces you to hide behind a wall and disengage from combat, so you get your health back. But in this, it makes you get up in that ass and get your health back. Like it's a more engaging way to do things, I think.
Yeah. I mean, time will tell. Sounds like they're already making some changes to it. I was reading that it's supposed to be like a more open world style game, which would be cool to see. I don't know how it's going to work for Halo, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm hesitant. I'm optimistic but hesitant
Yeah,
to see what comes out. It's definitely not on my pre-order list, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it for the meantime, until we get some more information on it, until the reviews start coming in.
yeah.
That was probably the biggest thing from that
No,
showcase.
no, it
No,
wasn't. No.
really.
I
All
mean,
right.
we'll get to the biggest thing, but so yeah, after that they showed a cool State of Decay 3 trailer. No gameplay in this one, just a little teaser. With every State of Decay release, they're getting closer and closer to what I want out of a zombie survival game, which is like that real like that Walking Dead experience where like the characters matter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I feel like nothing really gets as close to that as State of Decay was, and with every game they get closer and closer, but still not quite hitting where I want them to be. So I'm hoping that with this game they get there. Um, let's see. After
Yeah, and
that,
I'm the same way. I haven't played any of the State of Decay games, but I'm a pretty big fan of zombie games, and I've been told by people that they're really solid zombie games, but I haven't had the time to invest into them. I heard the first one's kind of worth skipping and just go straight to the second one. What do you think?
yeah. Well, now that the second one's out, you can skip it. But yeah, that first one was pretty good. But yeah, they
Yeah,
improved on everything in the second game, and then hopefully they improve on that second game with this one because they did some very interesting stuff.
awesome. Well, I'll check it out then. Up next, they announced the Forza Motorsport, which, excuse me, I'm not a racing game fan. I don't know. Are you a racing game fan, Sabi?
Racing games are like the benchmark. You know how you get like a new TV and you're like, how do I benchmark this? Oh yeah, I'll put the latest nature doc on, and oh yeah, that's a good looking nature doc. Like that's how you benchmark a new console. You put a new racing game out. So like your Gran Turismo, your Forzas, like that's your benchmark for your console generation. But not totally into. I like the Horizon series for Forza more than just like the track racing shit. Um, but I don't know. This looks good. Like they didn't really show actual gameplay, but it does say it's in engine, so you can assume.
Yes. And it's a really pretty like gameplay trailer. If that's the case, that is in engine. Oof, that's impressive looking.
And they're calling
Um,
it Forza Motorsport. There's no number
yeah,
on there, so.
yeah,
Then Rare came out and showed Everwild, which I don't know what the fuck this game is.
yeah, dude. I've watched the trailer like twice, three times, and I'm like, what the fuck is it? Is it like it's like a role, an RPG, or is it like a platformer? The
Yeah.
survival game. Like, what am I looking at here?
And like they bring out a woman, they like talk about it a little bit, and then she's like, our community is in love with it. I'm like, what community exists for this game right now? Like,
Yeah,
there's no, I don't know anything about this. How do you have a community already? But apparently, there's a community around this. Um, so no gameplay, no real info about this. So we'll have to wait and see on that.
I mean, it's great to see Rare working on something that isn't like some gimmicky like Connect game. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Um,
we'll have to wait and see what they come out with. Up
and then
next, we got Tell Me Why.
tell me why. So these are the Don't Nod guys, the guys that make Life is Strange,
Hmm.
and it sucks that these guys are just stuck making these games now because like Life is Strange was such a success, and now they just can't make a real like game. Because they have not reached. I'm telling you, they have not reached that height that they reached with that game at all. And they've put out like what, like three more of those. Like people forget that they used to make video games, but
Yeah,
um,
even like After Life is Strange, they made a Vampire After
they
Life
made
is Strange, right?
they made Vampire before Life is Strange. They made Remember Me, and that game was
Yes.
interesting, but nobody remembers that game.
I thought the combat was pretty good, but
Yeah.
you're right. That's all I remember about it.
So yeah, this game seems to be another one of those. I don't, from, for me, this trailer does nothing. Like, I don't like feel anything for this. Like, it doesn't make me want to play this. Um,
Yeah,
it just,
I'm the same way. Like it looks like another game in that style. Which if you like them, that's fine. Good on you. You can be excited for it, but I'm not.
the graphics don't look great. The animations looks terrible to me. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Just,
think it
yeah.
looks terrible, but I don't think they're
Uh,
better than Life is Strange.
I think it looks terrible. Uh, They showed some Ori in the Blind Forest. That's going to get an update for 4K, saying 120 FPS. I this is a weird one because you would think that it would just do it, but I think what they're showing here is I think they have to reanimate the entire game to add more frames of animations. I think everything is like hand animated, which is why it just doesn't run at 120 because they have to add those extra frames of animation is what I think is why they showed this. Um, yeah, I think.
Yeah, which I mean, I never played the Ori games. You told me to pick them up. I've had other people told me to play them for a while, and this is cool to see that they're running an optimized version of it for Xbox Series X. So that's cool, but I don't think that's going to be a system seller. No one's going to buy a Series X like, oh, I can play Ori at 120 FPS now. That's a fun thing to have, but it's not going to sell a system.
Yeah.
Kudos on
Um,
them though for like updating it anyway. I mean, they definitely don't have to, but good on them for doing it.
they showed Outer Worlds DLC. I I need to get back into this game at some point. I kind of fell off it. It just didn't do it for me. Like in terms of what I want out of a game like this, it just didn't really do it.
I heard it was like a lot smaller than people expected. They expected this like huge like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas
Yeah.
size game. It's significantly smaller than them, but even though it's smaller, I was reading that it's more polished. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But I've been told it's a pretty solid like RPG experience, albeit if it only lasts like 25, 40 hours, if that.
But that had a date on it, September 9. That's coming out.
Which would be cool to see. I mean, that might add that extra content, excuse me, that people were complaining the game needed. I mean, it's not free, you still got to pay for it, but it might be cool to check out.
Yeah.
Um, Up next, we got Grounded, which we did talk about a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if there's really anything else you could say about it that hasn't already been said.
yeah, good good game. It's out
Yeah.
in early access right now, so that's one you can play right now.
Or pick it up on Game Pass if you have Game Pass.
Yeah. Then Obsidian actually came back out and they showed what I assume to be their version of Elder Scrolls. Um,
Yes, Avowed is a first-person RPG set in a fantasy world, very similar to Elder Scrolls.
it's sitting
But
there. It's set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. So,
mhm.
which I never got into those games, but
I heard they're really good, especially if you're like a D&D fan. Like people have told me like they're as close to D&D as you can get without without like actually playing D&D. Which are fine with me. I like these old school like isometric RPGs, but games like Avowed, like that's I don't want to sound like a dick, but that's what sells systems, man. Like no
yeah.
one's gonna
Well,
look at Pillars of Eternity and be impressed nowadays. As sad as it
especially
is.
since no one's tried to do another Skyrim. Like no one's doing those types of like no one's doing games of that scale.
Yeah.
So when I saw a dude with sword in one hand and magic in the other hand, I'm like, okay, here we go. Like this is it. And
Yeah, man.
who else better to do that than Obsidian, the guys who make these games? Like so, I'm excited for this. I fucking hope they already said it's gonna have mod support. So if it's anywhere on the level of like Bethesda modding, then that's good shit. Um,
Yeah, dude. Not just that, but like I want Obsidian to give Bethesda a run for their money. Like I want Obsidian to be like a legitimate competitor to Bethesda. Because I mean, Bethesda's done so much to lose so much goodwill recently that I don't think they deserve like all this attention. And I want like Obsidian to come in and kind of like eat their lunch, so to speak. You know what I mean?
yeah, and cooking is fun. In the chat said Pillars of Eternity puke. I never played those games. I mean, from what I understand about them, like people like the world and stuff like that. Not my kind of game, like those isometric RPGs. Like I like a more I
Like
like a more
action
intimate
focused.
experience. Yeah. So
Yeah, like and that's okay if that's what you're into. I mean, there's a market for those types of games. That's why like the Xbox Series X is showing off Avowed and not like Pillars of Eternity 3 or something. Um, there's a time and place for those kinds of games. And what's cool is that to build that world of Pillars of Eternity, but make it into a more accessible RPG. I say accessible, but more, I guess, more commercial role playing game. I think it's a great idea. I
yeah.
don't want to see what they do with it. Um, I hope Obsidian goes far. I really do. I like RPGs, and I feel like Bethesda's like not Bethesda, BioWare. Those companies I used to look at for role playing games aren't giving me that experience. So I want Obsidian to kind of pick up that slack and hopefully like provide enough like competition that it kind of kicks BioWare and Bethesda in the ass and gets them to making good games again. But we'll see.
Let's see. And then they showed a who's making this one? They showed a new game called As Dusk Falls. Oh yeah, there's Int Night. It looks like another story focused game. Don't know a lot about this one, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, it's told more of like a visual novel story, but with actual like environmental, like there's stuff moving in the background. There's like animated like 3D models, but the characters are all like 2D cutouts
Yeah,
that react onto the screen, which I'm hoping, which one, it doesn't look ugly. Like it looks really interesting,
I actually
but
really
I
like the
hope,
art style.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I'm hoping because that's a lot easier to animate than like actual models. I'm
Yeah,
hoping that allows the story to have like more variety, that there's more branching paths, there's more routes stories can take now that there's not a lot of resources going into modeling characters. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That one looks interesting.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Hellblade guys came out. Actually, didn't put this in the notes, but the Hellblade guys came out and they just talked about Hellblade a little bit. They confirmed that it will be running on the Unreal 5 engine, which I think this is the first game that's confirmed to be using Unreal 5. So
Right on, man. Hellblade itself was like a really technically like impressive game, and for a sequel, excuse me, to be using the latest software like that is really cool to see. I never played the first Hellblade. I really should. It's been on my backlog for a minute, and now the sequel's coming out. I guess now's a perfect time for me to get into it. But the
it's
game
good.
looks, yeah, the game looks good. Like I'm upset that I haven't played it yet, but I want to. I'll probably pick it up later after this or something and go give it a shot after I'm done with Nier.
Double Fine came out, showed some Psychonauts 2. Game looks fucking good. This is another game that's like they don't really make games like this anymore. So I don't know like what the reception is gonna be for it. Um, I know I'm excited because Psychonauts is one of my favorite games.
I mean, with games like, if you had asked me about this like 5, 6 years ago, I probably would have said like, oh, it's not going to do well. Like, a platformer coming out now. But with games like Super Mario Odyssey, Ukulele, Hat in Time, all doing well, I see no reason why like Psychonauts 2 can't do well either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially since I mean there's been such a buildup of hype over the past couple years for this. So
Yeah. So I mean that's one that looks good. I own Psychonauts 1 on Steam. I got to go back and replay it because I haven't finished it yet. But I did like what I played, and now the sequel's coming out, that gives me a chance to go back and finish the first one.
yeah, I think the best way to play this is probably not on PC. Uh,
Really?
yeah, just because
Okay.
the controller support is what you're gonna want, and it doesn't do controllers very well. It's a very old PC game, so it was before there was a standard for controllers.
Ah,
It does work.
gotcha.
Like I did play it with a controller, I think, but I think you kind of had a hard time with it. I think,
I
but
played it. I remember playing it with a controller, but I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so
I
long
don't
since I played it.
remember. Yeah, but it is on PS4 and Xbox One, and it has like achievements. So that was the last time I played it. Was on PS4.
That might be worth checking out then. Just pick it up on PS4.
They talked about Destiny, Beyond Light, which looks really cool. They're adding like ice powers to the game. I guess
Hmm.
every class is gonna get an ice version, which I'm surprised wasn't in there already. Like they have like fire and shadow.
Like lightning and yeah,
Yeah,
all kinds of shit. Um, Destiny's a game that like I kind of fell out of. Destiny 1, I played that quite a bit, but I haven't played it again since. It's a shame because the games play pretty well. Like they're fun shooters.
yeah.
It's just the MMO stuff is what turns me off of it because I'm not a huge like MMO fan. And
Actually,
as fun as
I
yeah,
recently started getting back into it, and it's like changed like a lot.
yeah,
Like surprisingly, but the problem with that game was the lack of content, and now it's just fucking it's saturated, just dripping with fucking so much so that like I have no idea what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. I just have like walls of quests and shit, and
wow,
most of it's like busy work. It's like it's busy work disguised as like main quests. So like you'll get like a quest and it'll be like kill 20 of these guys with this type of element, and you're like, oh okay, that's a main quest, but it's like disguised as like this busy work thing you just kind of just have to do.
Yeah, that's one thing
Um,
that bugs me about MMOs, that style of like quest design.
yeah,
But I mean, maybe if the game's fun, which a lot of people say it is, so that might be worth checking out. And then expansion. I mean, it's not a free expansion; you have to pay for it. But
yeah, but the game is free to play itself. Like the game itself is free to play now. So
right on. I mean, that might be worth checking out then if you're already a Destiny fan. I don't think it's gonna be
um,
enough to bring me back into it, but we'll see.
they showed Stalker 2, which I thought
I
this
was not
game.
expecting
I thought this game was like I thought this game was already out, or I thought it was like canceled. Like I don't know. The Stalker series is weird.
They have a bunch of spin-offs that go by different names, but
Yeah,
I don't think there's been a game that's like officially called Stalker 2.
yeah. The Call of Pripyat is like
Yeah.
the one I think I remember. I
All of
have these games on Steam. I wanted to get into these because they seem pretty like immersive in terms of like the experience that it provides. But I never got into. I never load. I gotta load them up and try them out.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I might pick them up. I've heard good things about them, even though they're supposed to be like kind of tough. I still want to check them out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I've had this cough for the past couple of days, so if it bugs you, I'm sorry.
You don't got the China flu, do you?
No, thank God. I know it's
Oh,
not because I don't have a fever, and it's all like a little TMI here, but it's all like mucus buildup. I think it's a sinus infection because it's in my nose, so you can kind of hear me talking. I sound a little stuffed up.
oh,
I think it's like a sinus infection. I'm fine. It's just every once in a while I'll randomly like cough. I think I'm getting over it though. It was so bad yesterday. I couldn't even sleep. I was coughing so fucking much.
um.
And then up next we have Warhammer 40K Dark Tide, which
So,
no gameplay yet, but it's supposed to be like a 4-player co-op shooter similar to like Left 4 Dead.
well, it's they call it Dark Tide because they have Vermintide. That's the like the sword and board Warhammer.
Mhm.
So Dark Tide is supposed to be like Vermintide, but with the future shit.
See, could someone explain like Warhammer to me? So there's two continuities. There's the
So
original. There's like the weird like medieval dark fantasy Warhammer, and there's
yeah,
40K, which is like the dark sci-fi Warhammer.
40K is like 40,000 years in the future. I assume. I assume that's what that means. Uh, I don't know shit. I don't know shit about Warhammer.
Yeah, me
If I'm
neither.
being honest.
It's got a really deep lore, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, is there like a continuity? Like, do they actually like? Are they in the same timeline? Are they two like alternate ideas? But one's more like fantasy based, one's like space based. I don't know. I actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I care.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like those Vermintide games. They're pretty good. So if we can do that with guns, I'd probably enjoy that more. So
Yep, especially crazy like fucking space guns like this thing has. I mean, look at that shit.
yeah. Uh, Tetris Effect coming to Xbox finally. It was not on Xbox. So but this is like a different version of it. This is like a multiplayer version called Tetris Effect Connected. Which, if you didn't know, Tetris Effect did not have multiplayer, and when it came out, so people were kind of upset about that.
I mean,
This
that'd be cool
looks,
to see. Man, I like me
yeah,
some Tetris. I mean, who doesn't like Tetris?
and this one looks crazy. Like everyone's playing on the same board.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
Which
that'll
I
come
mean,
out this year.
it astounds me that a game like Tetris can still like be a major success, in 2020. I mean,
Tetris is the greatest game ever made, if you ask
yeah,
me.
I agree.
Just by the longevity. Like everyone's played Tetris, everyone knows Tetris, and still around from the day it came out to today. It's still prominent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any other game has as much like just market share as Tetris does. I mean, people know what Tetris is, and you can ask anyone. You can say the word Tetris, and everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's cool to see it coming out on One X like that, or the Series X like that. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about it, man. It's Tetris. Who doesn't like Tetris?
Then they showed this game, which is called The Gunk. um, it's set in the SteamWorld universe. So if you ever played SteamWorld Dig or SteamWorld Heist, I don't know why they just didn't call this SteamWorld Gunk, but they didn't. The Gunk is a weird name.
Is it set in that universe? I think it just says like it's from the same creators of the SteamWorld
Uh,
games.
well, the SteamWorld games kind of have this kind of tech where your arm is like a thing. Uh,
Gotcha.
like, but it's always like a different universe. It's like never like pixel junk games.
A floating continuity.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
Okay, that makes sense. Excuse me. Um, I mean, it looks interesting. It's like a survival game,
I don't
like
know
an
what it
adventure
is.
game. Yeah,
It
I'm
looks
having
really
trouble.
cool though.
Yeah, it does look cool, and this is a pretty cool game to announce. Again, it's not a system seller, but it's definitely interesting game to announce.
Yeah. And then they showed the Medium, which this is the game by the Layers of Fear guys. This is their new game. And the interesting thing about this is there's two different like time periods that you can swap in between like at the press of a button.
Oh,
They
that's
call it
cool.
dual reality. Two worlds rendered simultaneously. Like this is like next gen shit. Like this is shit that you probably couldn't do on the current hardware. And this is what I want to see more of. I want to see more shit that you can't do on the current hardware. Like this looks cool
Yeah,
as
I
fuck.
mean, people like for some reason, and I can see why. I mean, when a new console comes out, people want to make games look better, which is fine. I mean, pretty games are nice to look at, but I want like experiences that weren't possible on older systems.
Yeah.
I like the last time I got impressed with a new hardware was when the 360 came out. I know it's kind of silly to think about now, but when Dead Rising got announced and I saw all those zombies rendered on screen, I think that was like the last time I thought like, oh, this wouldn't work with my last gen hardware.
I think
I didn't think
it was Uncharted 1 on PS3. It was a lot of shit on PS3. It was Uncharted 1. It was like the water in that game. The water in that game, the water in like it was most of PS3 shit. Like Uncharted 1, Heavenly Sword, Metal Gear Solid 4. Like those games to me were like this is fucking incredible. Like we're never gonna top this.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. And this game the medium looks really cool. Um, I just don't know what kind of gameplay it is. Is it more like an adventure game,
I
or
think it's
is
like
it?
survival horror.
Yeah,
Yeah. It looks interesting. Now you were talking about the biggest game announced, and Sega's making a new Genesis.
wait, what?
uh, they're making a new Genesis, dude. Phantasy Star Online 2, new Genesis.
Oh my god, you
Dude,
fucking have
I saw this shit, man. This shit came up, man, and I heard that music and I saw that scenery. I was like, what the fuck is this? what the fuck is this? And dude, it's Fantasy Star Online 2,
Mhm.
but they're completely overhauling it. They're giving it the Final Fantasy Realm Reborn treatment. Like
Oh, so this is an expansion. This is like an improvement over PSO2.
it's a completely new game.
Oh wow.
But okay, so this trailer came out and people were like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Like, there's no information in this." So when this came out, motherfuckers were like, what is this a new game? Like, is this an expansion? Like, like what's happening?" So they had to come out the next day and clarify. They had to clarify exactly what the fuck this was. So they put out a follow up post that says, "Hey, we want to tell you guys exactly what this is because we know it was kind of confusing." Um, let's see. So it's a massive overhaul that's going to be released in 2021.
Wow. So we're still a ways away then.
So if people don't know, PSO2, that game is 8 years old, damn near
Yep.
9 years old. Like it's almost a decade fucking old, right?
Yeah, you spent the last decade just riding that game's dick like no tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you damn fucking Skippy. And uh so like they go through and they're like, "Hey guys, we're adding fingers to the game." That's how old the fucking game is. You didn't have fucking fingers, okay? So like they specifically have a segment in here that's like, "Look, motherfuckers, fingers." Like where is it? Here it is. The fingers can move, guys. Oh shit. The fingers can move. Um so
I mean,
like
as
it's
impressive as the finger stuff is, like what other quality of life changes are we like expecting here?
um like everything. Uh like it's a complete engine overhaul. So you're fucking changing everything. Like absolutely everything. Um I want to see if they go in depth here with like bullet points. Um yeah, they don't really
Now, maybe,
go in depth, but
maybe you can explain this to me. The combat I was seeing right now looked really impressive. Is
that's
that in
that's
the original
PSO2.
PSO2?
That's PSO2 combat. Like the combat, that's how that game is. Like so that looks mostly unchanged. Maybe like they've refined it a little bit, but like some of the more specific stuff in here, there's a day night cycle. Uh the world is more open. Like you didn't really have these like open ass areas. It was more like you know how like the original Monster Hunter games were, where it's like here's area 1 and then you walk into area 2 and then you walk into area 3. Like that's how Monster Hunter used to be. Like that's how these
Yeah.
games were. Like everything was segmented off. Like this looks to be much 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 more open. Much more open, even more open than the current Monster Hunter. Like it just seems like it's just open.
Which I'm okay with. I just wonder how they're gonna implement it. Like, is it just gonna be everyone's gonna wake up one morning and the game will be overhauled? Is it gonna be like Realm Reborn where you got to buy into it?
So it's still gonna be free to play. It's
Okay.
free. It's free, totally free. PSO. So the current PSO2 will still exist. So you'll still be able to play that game if you want. But when New Genesis comes out, it's gonna be like, hey, you can load this, you can load up New Genesis, you can load up PSO2. Your characters will carry over. A lot of your items will carry over. Um, the currency, some of the premium currency carries over. So Arcs Cash and Soul Gems, is that what it's called? Soul Gems, Star Gems carry over. Um, they go into specifics on what doesn't carry over. So like your character level, experience points, class skills. I figure they're overhauling like most of this stuff so it doesn't carry over. But your emotes carry over, your mags carry over, which is like your like pet. but those carry over, but they're like skills. So you would like feed your mag, and your mag would level up, and then your mag would contribute its skill points to your skills. They're saying that's not going to do that anymore. I'm assuming they're just going to have a completely different system for that. Because otherwise, why the fuck would you feed your mag? You got to feed your mag, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's confusing, but it's pretty much a Realm Reborn. But unlike a Realm Reborn, it seems like a lot of your shit just carries over.
Yeah, because I think with Realm Reborn, like you were starting fresh. Like they had some like bonuses for returning players,
Yeah.
but you're mainly starting fresh. Which this is pretty. If this works, it'll be really impressive. It's a really ambitious thing to be trying to pull off. We'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see what happens though. Up next, we got Crossfire X, which is a new game from Remedy, which I wasn't expecting.
No. So okay. So here's okay. So this is confusing for people. Crossfire X is not a new game. Crossfire X is a game that's been, I think it's out already. It's been out for a while, but it's like extremely popular in China and shit. So like it's like one of the most played games in China. Like it's one of those games that's you would never know that is extremely popular, but it is. So Remedy's involvement is they're only doing the campaign.
Mm.
The campaign is what Remedy's doing. And because it's a free to play, it's one of those free to play shooters. And what they don't tell you in this is like, so everything they showed in this conference is Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass. Like they hammer in the fact that everything shown here is Xbox Game Pass, except this fucking campaign. This is not part of Xbox Game Pass. You have to buy the campaign. The game is free, but they say it right here. Crossfire X multiplayer is free to play. Xbox Live Gold required. Single player not in Xbox Game Pass, sold separately. So
Okay.
they had to add that fine print right there. So it looks okay. Also, I don't have the audio going right now, but there's a I noticed it during the thing. There's an X gonna give it to you like cover, a real somber cover of X gonna give it to you.
Because of him.
You can't really tell.
Oh.
Yeah. Real. I noticed that. I was like, is that a DMX cover of like, because you know how they used to do like back in the days when they released these trailers, it would be like, I remember the Gears of War one was like big on like,
Tears for Fears, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's really interesting that that's happening. Like, I looked more into it. You're talking about it, and you're right. Like, it's Crossfire X is like, so the Crossfire games have been out since like 2009, and X is like a next step up.
Wow.
For that series, with Remedy working on the campaign, like you said, that's really crazy to me. Like, I've never heard of these games before, but it makes sense. They're super big in China.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets me thinking too, like, is Xbox like trying to corner that Chinese market now too then? By doing this? That's what it sounds like.
I mean, it's a good market. I don't think they're in it for the campaign. Like that game's already been out, so.
Next announcement, we got Fable, which I wasn't expecting at all. I thought Fable was kind of done with when they canceled Fable Legends.
Yeah. Well, I think we like knew that Fable was happening. You know what I didn't really I didn't grasp the fact that this is Playground Games. They make the Forza Horizon games. So I've never seen them do like not a racing game.
Yeah, and that's excuse me. That's a weird thing too because Lionhead isn't developing this. I don't see their name anywhere on here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it a good thing or bad thing? I don't know, man. I mean, when Lionhead worked on Fable, I'll be honest, Fable 3 was kind of a step down from Fable 2, at least I think so, in terms of gameplay. And after that, we had that Fable Connect game, which sucked ass. But maybe
I,
maybe it's not a bad thing that we have a new developer working on it.
yeah, I've only played the first Fable, and I never finished it. I've had that game since it came out, I think, and never finished it.
They're really like vanilla RPGs, man. Like
Yeah,
the biggest thing about them is like the humor, like that kind of Monty Python style British humor.
yeah,
But
fart
they're
jokes
not,
and
yeah, but they're not like if you're gonna compare them to like other RPGs, like it's not a contest, man. Like Fable's a very vanilla paint by numbers RPG. What people like about it is the story and the fact
yeah.
that the game itself is simple that really anyone can get into it.
But there's still like Fable's another one of those games that not a lot of people copy. Like not a lot of people, not a lot of games do what Fable did.
Yeah,
So it still offers an experience that you still can't really get from other games.
that's true, which is why like I'm not totally shitting on it, and we'll have to wait and see like what Playground does with it. I'm excited to see it, man. I like Fable. My wife loves Fable. Um, so maybe that'll be something we can play together if they bring back multiplayer. That'll be cool to see.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
That was
pretty
it for
much
Xbox.
yeah.
Um,
That was a
sucks we had to
lot.
kind of rapid fire through it, but that was a lot to talk about, and we still got like a shit ton of stuff to go over. Like there's this big Nintendo leak
Yeah.
that started on 4chan,
Dude,
which
this so the shit that's coming out of this is fucking insane, dude. I think people are still like dissecting
yeah, dude.
they're calling it the Gigaleak because I don't know how people get I don't know how people get a hold of this stuff. Like so hackers just found, I guess, they just found just data, and it's called the Giga Leak because it was just gigs and gigs of data, and yeah, crazy shit they found in here, man. They found source codes, Star Fox 1 and 2 source code, Yoshi's Island, Mario Kart, A Link to the Past, a full master ROM database for Famicom and NES. Um, there was an official DS emulator that they found the full repository for. Cut content from Pokemon. They found Luigi in Super Mario 64. Uh, Dylan Cuthbert came out, so he was one of the lead developers on Star Fox,
Mhm.
for the Star Fox tech, and he came out and was like, "Man, this is crazy. People found like this really obscure tool I wrote for Star Fox development." Uh, so he was like making tweets that's like, "Man, like people were asking him like, how do you feel about this?" And he was like, "Ah, it's kind of weird, man. This is real private stuff. Like, um, like he was like they put a lot of like when developers like put like write their code, they put a lot of comments in there to like say what their code is doing or like what segments are for. So when others look at it, they can kind of decipher what the code's trying to do. And
Mhm.
like there's a lot of code in there that's like, oh yeah, fuck Roger. Like people were like going through and looking at that shit like, wow, what the fuck does Roger do? And then Dylan was like, no, Roger was like a really cool guy, man. He was just, we were just giving him shit. Um,
Well,
but it's
that
like
helps
really,
add the authenticity of these leaks then. But I mean, what's coming out of it? The ROM database, I think that's got me the most excited. So does that mean we might see that in the Switch in the future, or is that like holdover data from like the Wii? Because the Wii had like a whole NES collection on their eShop.
Yeah,
So like,
and
just because it's there doesn't mean like it's amounting to anything, you know?
yeah, especially like people found like some Nintendo guy, they found like someone's porn stash in there. Uh like people were just like digging through, like there's so much shit. Uh Crazy, man. Crazy. Like uh I don't know if we can like decide like go through all of it, but I'm gonna put the links in the chat here if anyone wants to kind of go through. Also, it'll be in the show notes. So I put all the links in the show notes. So anyone listening to this
Nice.
can,
I
can
want to
take
check
a
out this
look.
dude's porn collection. I'm gonna look at his porn and judge him.
Well, I don't know if it's archived anywhere, but because that's the thing, this is all stolen stuff. So there's like a there's like people are kind of looking at the legal gray area, like I mean, this is out there for archival purposes. We can put it on like archive.org, and but for legal purposes, like websites are shutting down because they're like there's a Pokemon website like database that's shutting down because they're like, I don't know if we can use, like, people are going to upload this stolen data to our website and we can't really use any of this. So like I know it's like a Pokemon database that shut down because of this. There's a really weird Yoshi. There's a Grandpa Yoshi.
Yeah, I was seeing that one right now. There's, it looks like it's a bunch of leftover stuff from development,
Yeah,
which is really cool to see. You know, this is stuff that's like not meant to be looked at. This is probably stuff that like devs fucked around with, or like, you know, game demos running with like certain placeholders, stuff like that.
yeah,
Again, I don't think it's going to amount to anything now, but it's still cool to like see, you know, it's behind the curtain type of stuff.
yeah. So if anyone wants to pick through this stuff, it's all in the it's all in the show notes. You can kind of finger through it. See what else we got.
Anthem's got some new updates coming out.
Oh, yeah, Anthem. So, man, uh,
That fucking train wreck.
yeah. So I played Anthem when it came out. I played and finished it, and yeah, that game had some problems. But you know what? I'm glad that like BioWare's dedicated to like fixing it. You know, like uh if like we were talking about like Realm Reborn, if that can have a redemption story, No Man's Sky can have a redemption story. Anthem can have a redemption story, and I want to see that. So they came out actually. Christian Daly, the BioWare studio director, came out himself and just posted this update on like how they're updating they're completely rehauling the loot and experience system, or the equipment system for Anthem. And so like it's been a while since I played this game, but some of the specifics that I remember is when you get a loot drop in the original, when you get a loot drop, you cannot, so once you're out in the field, you cannot change your equipment, you cannot look at anything that you pick up, you cannot do shit with your equipment. You'll pick shit up and you cannot see it until after you finish the mission. Um so that's one of the specific things that they're changing. They said you can modify your loot. Um, you can pursue specific loot. They increase the frequency of loot drops. Loot is viable more often. Really, what it looks like they're doing is they're just building Destiny, pretty much. That's really what it looks like they're doing.
I mean,
Even
Destiny's doing pretty well, so
yeah, like even the menus like are very Destiny like, which is not a bad thing. But they're very much looking at Destiny and it's like, well, I guess we should just do that. Um, yeah. So,
I
uh,
mean, I don't like seeing games do badly. I want games to succeed.
Yeah.
And you're right, man. If these other games can have a redemption story, why can't Anthem? And it looks like them updating their loot system is the first step to making that happen. Will anything come out of it? I mean, we'll have to wait and see, man. Like, hopefully they can make something good out of this so the people who went and bought Anthem day one don't feel like they totally just got ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what they're gonna like once they relaunch this. I don't know what their pricing scheme is gonna be. So I played it on Origin Access. So like I didn't buy the game. I just came with Origin Access, which is good. Like that's their version of Game Pass. Um, it's not as cheap as Game Pass. I think it's like $10 a month. Oh, by the way, while we're speaking on EA, I didn't put this in the notes, but Rocket Arena is $5 now.
What?
It's
Get out of
five
here, for
dollars
real?
now on Origin, only on Origin, but on Steam they're doing a free to play weekend, um, and it's seeing the most activity it's ever seen right now because of course it is. Uh, but yeah, so that's happening. Uh,
I mean, let's hope they can like keep the momentum going, man.
yeah, they released a new character too, but yeah, so. But yeah, Anthem. I'm excited to see. I'm glad they're posting updates, keeping people updated on this. They're not just staying radio silent. Um, yeah, these are good changes. I support this. So, but hopefully they
um,
can follow through.
yeah, hopefully they can turn it around. Um, excuse me. Next in the news, PlayStation Plus. We got new games for August. We got Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, which, if you don't know what Fall Guys are, they're pretty popular, like indie brawler with these really loose mechanics. It's really funny. Like every time I watch gameplay of Fall Guys, I fucking lose my shit. It's so goddamn funny to watch.
Well, it's a battle royale game, but
Yes.
it's not like traditional. It's like a battle royale party game. It's like Mario Party battle royale. And I think that is a genius like I say this I feel like I say this every show now, but like I love it when because the battle royale genre is just so fucking devoid of creativity.
Hmm.
Like you look at Hyperscape and you look at like um that one that EA has, and it's like these are just the same games but you're just putting like a different skin on it. But when you do things like Tetris 99 and Fall Guys, it's like these completely different concepts that are so out there, but still like have a battle royale, um, you know, face on it. Like it's really cool when they can think outside the box like this. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. I'm gonna be buying this on PC and playing this when it comes out.
It's gonna be free on PlayStation Plus, so I'm probably gonna be playing it there.
Yeah,
Um, I can't wait to pick it to play it either. I mean, I think it's when did PS Plus games go up? The first Friday of the month, right? So we should see on the 7th. I might be totally wrong too, though.
no, it's Tuesday. They update
It's
on
Tuesday.
Tuesdays. Yeah,
On Tuesdays. Okay, so we'll see it on the 3rd then in a couple days. And on top of that, I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remastered, which I mean, if you're into that, go ahead. But I haven't been excited for a Call of Duty game in forever. Modern Warfare 2 is
yeah.
a fun game, though, so it might be cool to replay that campaign, but we'll see.
Yeah, man, I haven't played that since it came out, man. I kind of want to
Same.
go through it again. I really like was Modern Warfare 2 the one with the Spec Ops mode where it was like a co-op like mission thing.
Yes. Yeah, I believe
That I
so.
really like. They never did that again.
Well, it'll be fun to replay then. Might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, both games are going to be available on August 4th, is what the show notes here say. So I guess it's, yeah, Tuesday, like you said. And then on Xbox side, we have Games with Gold. We have Portal Knights, if you haven't played that yet for whatever reason. Portal Knights is okay, not my cup of tea, but I mean, it's free with Games with Gold. Then we have Override, Mech City Brawl.
Your cat is going crazy, dude.
Dude, she's going nuts. I don't know what her deal is. She's not even like in the room with me. I don't know where she is. She's like behind the couch or something, just being an ass.
Override Mech City Brawl. I don't know what that is.
It's like a weird mech fighting game. All I can describe. From what I'm seeing here,
It's a
it's
$30 game.
it is a $30 game, but it's free with gold, so that's cool. So you have to pay for it. It looks like a mech fighting game, so the mechs like look really clunky. Shit like gets broken though, and cities get destroyed. Like it looks like it might be interesting, but I mean, I can't see myself having long term fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see what my cat wants. Take over for me for a couple minutes.
So yeah, those are your Xbox One games, and then for the original Xbox. Wait, are these original Xbox games or Xbox 360 games? Because it just says Xbox up here. That's weird. But you get MX Unleashed. For Xbox One and Xbox 360. And yeah, so those Xbox 360 games, I don't know. Red Faction 2. I never played the Red Faction games. I don't know what these are. MX Unleashed, it sounds like that's an original Xbox game. Interesting. Usually these are three. This looks like a mobile game. I haven't looked at an Xbox game in a long time. This looks like a mobile game. This is a weird one to put on there. But you get MX Unleashed and Red Faction 2. Again, never played the Red Faction games. These like did people enjoy these games in these back in the day? Man, look at that. If you're watching the stream, twitch.tv/Gameoverse. Man, but you know what? I like that the Xbox One does this. I like that you can play these old games today on current hardware. Like, I walked into my local like old game store, and which is like right down the street, and I was like, dude, what do I need to play brute force on like modern hardware? And he was like, well, you're gonna need like you're gonna need an HDMI to Xbox cable. We don't have those in right now, and uh, but like that, like if is brute force on fucking, I gotta check. Brute force is one of my favorite like original Xbox games.
Which is sad because like it didn't do well like at all.
Yeah, and no, it's not. It's not on. On you can't play that.
Nope. Which is weird. Like it's an Xbox exclusive. You think it would be, but
Yeah,
never.
but yeah, those are your games with gold. So if you guys are in got your Xbox Ones, I don't think this is a very Xbox heavy audience we have. So Rebel says people say that Red Faction games are good, especially multiplayer mode. Um,
I played
yeah,
the campaign for the first Red Faction. I thought it was solid. And when they kind of shifted to Red Faction Guerrilla, that open world game, that was a lot of fun. I remember playing that a lot when that came out.
yeah,
Um, what else we got next? In smaller news, World of Warcraft is getting controller support with their new Shadowlands expansion, which, like, I didn't see that coming at all. Like, of all
yeah.
games, get controller support. That's such a weird game to get it, but I mean, good on you, man.
But you know what? I like when MMOs have controller support because those are real Like those are the kinds of games that I could play for a long time, but I like to like lean back on like a couch or like just like
Yeah.
recline in my chair. Like I really don't like hunching over a keyboard to play games for long periods of time. It's why I usually use a controller for fucking everything on my PC. You know, as you should. You know, that's what real PC gamers do. Let's be honest. Uh, so I mean, I'm not going to play this. I mean, this is not going to make me play World of Warcraft, but I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, I could definitely see the appeal of it. I mean, anyone who wants it can get it now. And least important news, we got a new Call of Duty title got leaked. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which
Yeah, it got leaked in
seems
a ironically in a Doritos Mountain Dew promo or something. Yeah, in a Doritos promo. So you know where you get all your Call of Duty news. You know.
I mean, I don't like. I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan. I don't think I've made that a secret on the show. Um, I'm not even going to say Cold War looks interesting because I don't care. But I mean, if you've been waiting for when is Call of Duty going to tackle the Cold War, well, there it is. There you go. There's the
um.
game for you.
Yeah, it's crazy that we don't know anything about 2020 Call of Duty and it's already August. Like
I'm
that
sure it
game,
was supposed to happen at E3, but since the E3 didn't happen,
I'm
no
sure.
one didn't
But you
happen.
know, they would usually announce it at like an entertainment like a football game or like a basketball game or something.
Which hasn't
And
happened either.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do for that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, man. Again, I don't care, but I know there's some people who do. So there's that news for you. In other news, Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to Steam
Biggest
on August
news.
5th. Yeah, I did not see that happening, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, neither did I. But yeah, another weird one because, you know, now we know that they're making a new Genesis. It's almost like why would you play this now?
Yeah.
um I mean your stuff a lot of your stuff does carry over, but not all of it. So
Yeah, so that's why I'll have to wait and see, like, what happens, man. I mean, you've been telling me to get into Phantasy Star Online 2 forever. So maybe now that it's on Steam, it's more accessible. I don't have to fuck with the Microsoft Store. It might be
yeah,
worth looking
yeah.
at.
And I'm going to switch to this version because it's a completely different version, just Steam based. So
Okay.
you'll be able to use your Steam controller if you have one. I think I'm gonna be doing that. Um, I actually just got a Xbox Elite controller, um, which is very nice. So
I love my Elite controller, man. I've had it for a couple years, and I love it.
it's good. Do you have the Series 2 or do you have the original one?
Series 1, I have the original, and it works really well. I love it.
See, people have been talking shit about the Elite controller. Like, dude, I got the Elite controller and within like 2 weeks. I had stick drift. The RB doesn't work, man. This shit sucks. And then I'm like, you just don't know what to think about it. But
Have had exactly zero issues. That has been my go-to controller for every time I play PC games. That's not shooters. I use my Xbox Series X controller, or my Xbox Elite controller. Um, I almost bought this adapter so I can use it on my Switch, but I'm glad I didn't. I might still do it though.
Nujariah,
'Cause it does feel good
Nujariah
real quick.
says in chat, he says Microsoft controllers suck. Um, I what like compared what are you using a DualShock? I used to use a DualShock 4 because in Steam you can map the touchpad to different things, and that
Mhm.
was extremely useful. You can't do that with the Elite controller. Like those paddles can't be. You can only map those to other buttons. And I'm like, I don't need buttons I already have, motherfucker. I need like if I want to do a keyboard thing, I'm gonna be able to map that to a paddle. So that's kind of shitty. Um,
Yeah, that's why I use it. Um, I like having those paddles though for certain games like God, like what game? Witcher's a great example. You need to hold like the fucking A button to run, which is a
Yeah.
pain in the ass because then I'm taking my thumb off the right stick. So I'll just use the paddle and just use that to run, and I'm still have my thumbs on the stick to do whatever else I want. I used it for Sunset Overdrive 2 when I had that on Xbox One. Because same thing, using the A button to like jump and grind, and I just
Yeah.
map that. Yeah, I just map that to the paddle, so I'm not taking my thumb off the camera stick.
I think once the DualShock 5 comes out, that's where I'm gonna probably switch to that. If the support is the same in Steam, because Sony controllers are not great when it comes to PC shit. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. Excuse me. I like it. Congratulations to you on your controller. I think it's a great controller. In new trailers, I mean, we got a Battletoads trailer, which like caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that at all.
This looks like incredible and like terrible at the same time. Uh, like when I first saw it, I thought it was a fucking Cartoon Network like spin-off of Battletoads. Like it looks like a fucking cartoon. Like the animation's really really good, and like the voice acting's really good too. Uh, but then
Yeah,
you see the game, and you're like, oh, like what? This doesn't look that great. I don't know.
it looks like a Flash game almost.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, I don't hate like Flash games. Like I like we were talking a couple weeks ago on the podcast about Ska Studios. They got some like fucking Flash animation looking games, and I still
yeah.
think they're great. So maybe Battletoads will surprise me. I've full disclosure, I never played a Battletoads game before in my life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, never. I've never played a Battletoads game. I've been told I should. Fucking, I don't know where to start with them, dude. Like everyone said, start with the NES original, but the NES original looks like dog shit. So I don't want to do that.
No, dude, the Super Nintendo version is probably the best one. Well, I think I think it's a remake of that first game. I think. I actually don't remember. They all suck. I mean, well, and there's also Battletoads and Double Dragon. There's a Battletoads with like Billy and Jimmy in it from Double Dragon.
So I mean,
Uh,
this might look cool, but we'll see. I like beat 'em ups, so this might be fun to play.
yeah.
We got a Hawkeye teaser for Marvel Avengers, which I mean, I'm sorry if Hawkeye is your favorite hero, but who was excited for that?
Well, there was a whole Avengers like conference, like there was a whole Avengers show like last week at some point. I don't remember when the fuck it was. I don't know who's excited for this game because I am not, but I'm not a Marvel guy at all, really. So
I'm a Marvel guy, but even I'm not really excited for this game, dude. Like it doesn't look. It's cool we're getting an Avengers game, but it doesn't tie into the movies, which like the most popular thing about the Marvel series right now. Even the character models like don't look like their movie counterparts. Um, and to top it all off, I'm speaking totally objectively here. It looks like a pretty generic like action game.
wait a minute, it says pre-order now for beta access. What is a beta for this game? Is this like a online thing? Oh yeah,
No,
it
it's a single
is.
player campaign, but I think
Is
it
that
has
what it
like
is?
some multi.
Because
It's a,
it says internet required on the
I thought it was a
box.
single player game. Like
On the
where the fuck is
box,
the multiplayer?
on the PS4 box they're showing here, it says internet required. Hold on, there's fine print here. It says internet access requires platform specific Square Enix members account required. I'm not sure.
So the game has its own extensive multiplayer component. Don't know what that means, and it does have missions that are playable with up to 1 to 4 people. But how does a beta fit into that?
But do you see anywhere where it's like I'm looking at their trailer has a PS4 box that says internet required on the box. Like on the box it says internet required. No, like I mean there's an asterisk next to it, but the box says internet required. I'll have to find out about that. Not totally. I've not been following this game at all.
Yeah, same. And the other news, Soul Calibur 6 has announced their new DLC character, Setsuka, which if you're like a Soul Calibur fan, I don't think Setsuka's been in the game since like Soul Calibur 4. I mean, she was kind of in 5. Her fighting style was in 5 if you played as Alpha Patroclus.
We
But
all know who that is.
that's the problem with 5, dude. It introduced so many it got rid of like some of the major like Soul Calibur characters and
Yeah.
introduced like new generation of characters that had similar move sets, and that pissed a lot of fans off. Like Taki didn't come back; it was some random girl. Keelik came back, but he
Not
wasn't
to.
using the stick. Yeah, uh,
My favorite characters are gone. Like Tell Him. No, I think Tell Him was in there, but they changed her move set, so she sucked. Um, and then yeah, Taki was my favorite, and they fucking fucked her up. Like, okay, yeah, she's the one with the parasol. I do remember her.
yeah, and in 5 they just had Alpha Patroclus, who had a similar move set. He just used like a katana that was sheath the whole time. Um, I mean, Soul Calibur 6 is fun. If you haven't played it yet, it's a solid game. I've dumped quite a bit of time into it, and the character creator's like a blast, dude. I've spent so much time with the character creator. Um, so it's cool to see more content coming out for it. I'll probably end up picking up the second season pass because it's going to come with Setsuka along with whatever else they release after her. So that might be cool to check out.
2 season passes.
Yes, 2 season passes.
Oh this is DLC 11. Okay.
Yeah. The first season pass had oh god, what was it? It had like 4 characters, I think. It was like what was her fucking name? Tifa, Amy, God, who else? 2B from Nier Automata.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think there's like one other character.
like Geralt. Oh, he was
Geralt
already
came
in
with,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So season pass 2 has Hoamaru from Samurai Showdown, Hilda from Soul Calibur 5, and now we have Setsuka. So I might pick up that season pass. I got the game really cheap. I got the first season pass really cheap, so the
Oh,
second
there's
season pass
also
isn't that too far.
they actually changed. There's like a big update with this too. Battle adjustment for all characters. Setsuka's classic costume free.
Yeah, so when you get her character pack, you get like her classic costumes to use for the character creator and for her along with it.
More character creation parts, Tekken theme parts. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, it's hella cool. But it looks, I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, more Soul Calibur news is cool with me.
Yeah.
Next we have Red Dead Online's like new little, what is it, like an expansion?
Uh, fucking, I don't know. I don't, I don't fucking care about their online shit. Like, I would much rather have some like story shit. I think they're adding a new character class called the Naturalist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, that's what this is. I don't know anything about it though. Um, I'm still playing Red Dead. I kind of have been off for it for a while, just playing other shit, but I want to get back into this. Uh, it's like, is this the new like thing now? Where we're just gonna have to play the online mode to get like more story? Because that's not, I'm not down with that. But this is out now, so
I mean, it looks cool, but again, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption. I don't care about online at all. When the
yeah,
fuck when we get, and then when are we gonna get a new Undead Nightmare? Like that's what I'm waiting for.
yeah, exactly. Um, there's other updates here, but we don't have to do all of them.
All right, let's get on some of the more interesting things, like the bottom three here. Toontown,
I like how
which
you
is a name
included Toontown because I didn't think you would find that interesting, but
I
I find
remember seeing
this,
commercials for it when I was a kid,
yeah,
and I never played it. And now that it's like it's not up anymore, it's cool to see like fans like bringing it back.
yeah,
That's like
yeah,
super cool.
fucking Toontown, man. What is this game is shit, but like I played it. I played it like fuck. How long ago was that? I was like 14, I guess. I don't know.
let's look it up. Toontown Online. Excuse me. It launched June 2nd, 2003, and discontinued 2013.
Man. So yeah,
Yeah,
I was 13 when this came out.
I was, oh God, like 10 when that came out. I remember seeing ads and stuff for it when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, that might be cool to check out. I just never did it.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
looks
remember
like a bunch
I
of
think it was
fans
on
are bringing it back.
I think it was on Cartoon Network where like they were like advertising this and
Hmm.
like ooh a Cartoon Network MMO online game, sure. We play and it's fucking shit. Like it's fucking trash, dude. Like I don't know. I didn't know this game had an audience, if I'm being honest. But I guess people can latch on to anything. If you're listening and you like this game, sorry.
Next, what we got? We have a ROM hack for Legend of Zelda called the Master of Time, which is like a whole new like
Yeah,
Zelda campaign written from the ground up.
this shit is fucking cool. I'm probably gonna grab this and play it. It's an entirely new fucking like entire full game. It's not like, oh yeah, we got a dungeon here or there. It's like it's got like, hold on, I gotta look at the stats here. It's got, oh, they don't have the info. Yeah, but it's got its own entirely new soundtrack. Um, damn, they don't have like the info.
Like it looks crazy, dude. It's basically a whole game.
Yeah, it's an entirely new game. It's got an entirely new set of dungeons, its own story, its own soundtrack, it's everything. So I kind of want to get into this and and try it out. I hear it's extremely good.
And then excuse me. Some other fun little news. We have what is Banjo Kazooie Jiggies of Time, which I click on the trailer for the show notes, and that takes me to something totally different. Or is that it?
Um,
It's like an Ocarina of Time
oh yeah, yeah. So
mashup. Okay.
yeah, they rebuilt. It's weird. They put Banjo Kazooie. They rebuilt Ocarina of Time, but made it like a Banjo Kazooie game. So This looks amazing too because they kind of they didn't just like take Ocarina of Time and just put it in Banjo-Kazooie. They completely rebuilt everything in the style of Banjo-Kazooie. So it's all shit that you can just explore and go into and like collect stuff in, and it's like it looks fucking cool as fuck. Like again, this is
Yeah, and
another
it's
thing.
huge. Like
Yeah,
they promise 9 worlds, 100 jiggies, 900 notes, a bunch of Easter eggs, and on top of it, it's compatible with the N64. I don't know how you're supposed to get that to work.
yeah.
But it's
Well, there's ways
compatible on
to
N64
like
hardware.
yeah, like an EverDrive, you can do it, something like
So
that.
there you go. So like that's hella interesting. I mean, if you play those on stream, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah.
I love hacks like see, dude, I love hacks like that, man. I love when fans like make cool shit like this. Like I will never forgive Nintendo for taking down AM2R. I think that was like one of the best Metroid games to come out ever.
Yeah, yeah. I need to finish that. I haven't played that in a while. Also, Rebel in the chat says a new update came out for RDR2. Dude, we literally just talked about that.
Yeah,
So
we went over it. We weren't impressed.
um yeah, fucking pay attention, Rebel. God damn it. Uh yeah, game releases.
Yep, game releases. Let me pull that page up here. So we got July 4th, we got Fall Guys coming out, or August 4th, we got Fall Guys coming out, which we talked about a bit. I'm interested in it, and I'm definitely going to play it. I'm definitely going to be playing it once that comes up for free on PS Plus. The Fast and the Furious game is finally coming out August 7th, which...
Oh yeah, remember when they announced this at the Game Awards, I think it was?
Yeah.
And it looked like shit.
It did look like shit. And it was delayed, believe it or not. It was supposed to come out... Oh, God. It was supposed to come out like in May, I think. May or June. Oh, May. Here we go. I looked up the page. It was supposed to come out in May, but it got delayed to August.
Wait a minute.
Game,
listen to this description of the gameplay. The gameplay in the recent trailer shows its combination between Ridge Racer and God Eater.
What?
What?
What? Where's the God Eater in this?
I have no idea. Okay, now I have to see this. I have to see this trailer. Hold on. That's an interesting thing to compare this to.
This is why you don't trust shit on Wikipedia, man.
Yeah. What is the most recent trailer? Jeez.
I found this gameplay trailer back in May, but
2 months ago, I see. I need to see like the how God Eater.
We brought cars to a boat race. Oh, get the fuck out of here. It's gonna take a few more like that before it breaks. Okay, V, you're up. Gosh, she sounds like she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
The voice acting is just so... Oh.
This almost looks like Split Second. This looks bad. This looks bad, dude.
Doesn't look good, dude.
This looks like an on rails, like.
No way. Look at that thing.
I've got something better.
I'm not seeing God Eater in this, but.
Me neither, man. Like, what the fuck?
Am I gonna have to buy this? Am I gonna have to buy this and play it? And you know what's crazy is I know like Vin Diesel, he's like a huge gamer. Like he even has like a studio. Like he takes it kind of seriously. I mean those
Use the container.
Like a
that like Butcher Bay game.
Yeah, those are great. And he was like, he oversaw like the whole development.
Yeah, like those are incredible. That's supposed to be ludicrous.
Which, here's the thing, man. When I heard Fast and Furious is getting a game, I wasn't like totally upset because what I knew Vin Diesel would be attached to it,
Yeah,
and I knew that he would try to make it a good game. So I wasn't totally ready to dismiss it. But now that I'm actually seeing it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? The fucking fire, like that fake ass looking fire.
We can't stop the rocket from over here.
And then just all the actors sound like they don't want to be there. Like,
it's so over the top. Like, does this stop at some point? Like, do they get a break?
oh my god.
Okay, well, yeah, that's coming out on August 7th.
So I mean, to the two of you that are excited for that.
Yeah, I know you probably creamed your jeans. You probably got to clean up a little bit, but it's coming. Don't worry, it'll be here soon. And Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC, so.
Which, I mean, we talked about that a little bit. It's an okay game, but
it's a good game. Like, it's a great, like, I feel the same about that game as I feel about like Ghost of Tsushima. Like, it's good at what it does, but what it does is what a lot of other games do in that genre. Like, it's good, but like you've probably been there, done that type shit. It's a beautiful game. I want to see how good it looks on PC. I'll probably get it and play through it again just to, because it comes with that DLC, and I never played the DLC, so.
I mean, graphically, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, looking at some of the graphicals that they added, unlocked frame rate is fantastic. Dynamic foliage. The graphics are fully customizable too, so you can tweak whatever you want to make it run as well as you want. It's cool to see it on PC, but it's not enough for me to go pick it up again.
Yeah.
Oh God. I think that's about it, man. I can't think of anything else that's coming out that's worth talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Twitch.tv/Gameoverse. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out the grounded gameplay we got on there. So it's not like it's. I feel like most people aren't giving that game the time it deserves. I mean, we played through that game. I had 9 hours of footage for that game, and like I cut it down to about 2 hours, and it really shows. Like, you can watch that video and like get a real good idea of what that game is. Like, Angry Joe put out a video for that shit. It was 20 minutes long. I'm like, 20 minutes is not. You're not getting any info from that. Like, maybe you're getting his personality, maybe he's real funny, but I don't know. I tried to actually, like, you know, show you what the fucking game was about. And
Fun fact, if you look up grounded game on YouTube, your video is like the third video that pops up.
Is it really?
Yeah, like type in grounded game on YouTube right now.
Maybe it's because that it's like serving it to you in that way. Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe like try like a fresh YouTube account or something.
Yeah, it's not. I'm getting The Last of Us before I.
Oh, really?
So I get 2 The Last of Us speed runs on grounded difficulty. 3 of them actually. Yeah. But yeah, check it out. Great game. It's on Game Pass, so if you got Game Pass, check it out. I think it's really cool. I'm interested to see it. It goes some pretty interesting places too. I really want to see where they take it.
Maybe when I finish up with like Nier Automata, I'll get a Game Pass account and check it out.
All right. If there's no any last minute questions from the chat, taking questions. It's question hour. Any questions? AMA in the chat. Any questions? No
Nothing.
questions.
Why is the sky blue? Where do babies come from?
There's
Why's
this
your parents? Why are mommy and daddy fighting? Now it's time to ask.
they're fighting because they love each other. Just love.
Love fighting. Oh man.
Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, check out the Grounded gameplay. We're gonna throw up. We had a Last of Us 2 spoiler cast before this, so we're gonna throw that up. So yeah, we got things for you to enjoy coming up pretty soon here. So
Yep.
and yeah, that's it. So thanks.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.